Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to a couple of my games. I could come up with something fancy to link these two games together, but there isn't really anything there. Like, they're both tier 7, I suppose. That's about it. You know. Anyway, there we go. Couple of tier 7s for you. We're kicking off proceedings with the VK4503. This is not a tank you see very much. This is a tier 7 premium German heavy tank. That was a terrible shot. It's not great, but I still have fun in it from time to time, so there's that. This is a tier 7 match, so the matchmaking's pretty good. It's not as good as it could be, you know, we don't have tier 5s to shoot at. And we're here on Westfield, which is an interesting map to find yourself on. So the VK, what's the shtick? For anyone who doesn't know, yeah, this thing is a bit outdated these days, to be honest, and it was never necessarily amazing. This is... if you imagine someone took a Tiger, with the old Tiger gun, as in it still did 240 alpha damage, not 280. So you take a Tiger, you make it not as fat and a bit sort of slimmer, and you give it a bit more sloping to the armour, but it doesn't really make much difference. And you make the gun handling a bit better, and you've kind of got the VK, essentially. The mobility isn't terrible for a heavy tank. It's not super fast, but it's you know, it's agile enough, I suppose, for a German heavy. And you can see here, I actually run mine with optics to do some lovely tasty spotting. And you can see here I'm trying to harass this Tiger and whatnot, and I'm kind of playing this thing a bit more like a medium tank. The thing with this thing is, and you can see there, even though, so these days the Tiger 1 has been buffed. It used to be that if you compared the two, the Tiger 1 got a better reload on the gun, but the VK got better gun handling. These days, the Tiger, well, that's technically still kind of true. So the Tiger does get a better reload. Well, okay, let me rephrase. So they gave the Tiger higher alpha damage. It's now packing 280 rather than 240. But it still gets as good a reload, if not better than the VK, with that higher alpha damage. Oh, I'm getting zerged. Oh no, well there's one dead. The VK does still get better gun handling, and you can use that, obviously, to your favour, as I'm attempting to do here. Can we kill off this Hellcat? Oh, he's flubbed his shot. There we go, kill number 2. But this thing is really not looking great in comparison to the modern Tiger. Anyway, as I say, I still enjoy playing this thing from time to time, and at the time playing this was for a battle pass, so I'd finished grinding through all my tier 7s, or playing all my tier 7s. Sorry, I'd finished playing all my tier 6s, so I was on to play tier 7 territory. And we're about to use that gun handling, by the way, to hideously abuse this T-34, but no, the T-28's getting involved. That's not fair. Well, I mean, if he gets slapped like that, that's fine. And we're just not letting this guy get a proper shot at me. And you can see you can get the odd bounce from the armour here or there, but it's not the sort of thing you should rely on. It's not hugely reliable, but we're just abusing the gun handling against this poor T-34-2 GFT, and good night, sweet prince. Bye, you become kill number 3. This T-28's trying to make something happen, but he's now in a really awkward position. I mean, he was in an awkward position before. The enemy team has essentially done goofed. Oh dear, AMX 1357 behind me. I put a shot into him. I'm trying to get myself into a position where the AMX is going to ram me, but he's got a mag. I don't have a great reload. Even if I shoot him again, I can't kill him. And there we go. He takes me down, but we got a couple of shots into him, and, you know, I think it's fair to say from the scoreline that it's probably not going to go his way. One little AMX 1357, as good a tank as that may be, is probably pushing it to try and win this. Just going to speed it along a little bit, because you don't necessarily want to sit here all day and watch this go, and in the end, there we go. The Super Hellcat goes in and almost embarrasses himself, but eventually the Awful Panther manages to take down the AMX 1357, and that is the match. Not a particularly long one. So let's have a look at the stats for this one. So there you have it. A nice quick ace in the VK there. Again, not a tank you really see that much, which is why I wanted to throw this game out there. Ace Tanker, Spotter, Duelist, Fire for Effect, and High Caliber. Not a super duper spectacular game, but we had a good contribution. 3,078 damage done, which for tier 7 is none too shabby. 3 kills, 1,366 base experience. We ended up dying, not really much you can do when an enemy autoloader decides to YOLO you. Like, fair enough, fair play. Knock yourself out, mate, pretty much. And we came top of our team fairly comfortably, in fact very comfortably, regardless of how you measure that. And the enemy AMX 1357 came top of his team pretty comfortably, so commiserations to him, I guess. 17 shots fired, 15 hits, 15 pens for that damage count, 10 hits received, 2 didn't bounce, 760 damage blocked by our armour, and the matchmaking was pretty good there. 1,691 damage caused by... caused with my assistance, 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 destroyed. How would I damage 6 and destroy 7? Anyway, less than 1 kilometre travelled. We didn't really do anything fancy. We just drove to the important location on the map and beat the tar out of the bad guys. And we made some credits. I mean, it's only a tier 7, it's not a tier 8, but that's still a respectable amount of money for a 4-minute match in tier 7. And got some XP. So, that was that. A nice quick one to kick us off with, and that game was fun, to be fair, so I can't exactly complain too much. So, another one for you again, also at tier 7. So here we go with the second match then, and we're in the AMX 1357. I've showed the tank itself a few times on this channel, but always driven by someone else. This time it's little old me who is getting behind the wheel. A tank I really rather quite like, although I have noticed from playing it a reasonable amount that this thing tends to get set on fire if someone so much as sneezes in its general direction. Which is why, although this is not a tank review of the thing, that is why I wouldn't recommend running a food consumable on this machine. So, here's my logic here. Okay, we'll get to what I'm doing in a sec. I have an automatic fire extinguisher here, as you can see, for that very reason. So, what was I doing there? Well, we've spawned here on Malinovka. This is a pretty good light tank map, if we're honest, and we're actually top tier here on Malinovka. Now, there are only 4 light tanks in this game, and when you're on a map like this, where spotting can be so useful, so powerful, what I was attempting to do there was, given the opportunity, I was trying to, well, obviously spot some bad guys, but in that particular instance, I had the opportunity to remove one of the light tanks from the enemy team, which would swing the vision game in my favour somewhat. Now, I wanted to do that as quickly as possible, and I wanted to do that as assuredly as possible, so I ran the AMX 12T on the basis that he'll do some damage to me, I'll do some damage to him. But I am far more likely in that situation to get support from my friends because he's come over that central ridgeline toward us, and pretty much exactly what I wanted to happen happened. I do get spotted there, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we've just been playing that ridgeline to try and get some vision for our team. We take a hit there from the T-34-85, but all things considered, if I'm being honest, my spotting there has got some damage done to a variety of tanks, got the ARL V39 killed, and of course previously got the AMX 12T killed. So we're definitely having a good impact, and we're up to over 1,000 assistants already. I mean, this is pretty early days of this game, and 526 of our own damage, to be fair. So with that early portion of the game out of the way, and actually just before I move on, you can actually see what our actions have done there. Between us, obviously including the rest of our team, we have managed, if you look at the team hit point bars, as well as getting a 4-1 lead, we've also got 3,500 hit point lead. So that's a really nice lead to have. It was a pretty awkward shot. I reckon I'm pretty safe here to be taking these shots, so I'm just going to plough some into the side of that T-34-85. Anyway, so thus far in this game, I was actually pretty happy with the trades, and oh, VK, 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 and I have not been spotted, but he has. Oh, I do so love playing light tanks sometimes. So, French ones are pretty sneaky as far as it goes. So anyway, this is sort of the early stage of the game is done, and if you're in a light tank or a tank where in that particular setup you are planning to do some spotting, you now have a question to ask yourself. So you've done some spotting, how much do you want to push it? Now I could keep pushing this and try and spot and spot and spot, but the problem is I'm a top tier tank, and if I die that's actually quite a blow to our team. And at this point I've lost, 400, 450 odd hit points. So I'm a little bit below half health. I don't really want to take more risks than I have to, which is why I spent a little bit of time getting some more speculative shots in. We put some damage on that T-34-85 and got some spotting on a couple of mediums. And now that we've managed to maintain our lead, we've got a 3 kill advantage over the enemy team and currently 2,700 hit point advantage. I'm going back and again just trying to extend out some view range for the team. Having a look at what's left on the enemy team, of course, the main threat to me is that EBR Hotchkiss. Managed to take out the enemy 12T early on, as you saw, but that Hotchkiss is the one who bothers me because he's another light tank, essentially. A different style of light tank, but another light tank all the same. Now, he was actually last spotted over on the other side of the map, near where that KV-2 is. He was last spotted over at sort of C1, C2. So it's possible that I don't have as much to fear from him as I worry that I might, but that thing is so quick. Oh, he's still over there, actually. Oh, wonderful. Well, with that being the case, I'm just going to get myself into a position from which I can start abusing some of these guys. And I figured that my shot into the Hotchkiss was very unlikely there, so I decided, of course we bounce, to go for the KV-2 instead. And of course we bounce on the side of him and therefore don't actually get the kill, but we do spot the artillery into the bargain. And we're back over a 3,000 hit point lead, and the enemy team is kind of having a bad day of this. Few seconds before I'm loaded and can start really working this artillery over. There we go, we managed to pick up the kill. And pondering whether to reload the magazine here, but I reckon I may well get an opportunity to do some more shooting, so I don't. And there's an IS, and there's a Hellcat. Ooh, he was quite close to me, so if someone could shoot this Hellcat, that would be great. Don't want to do it myself in case I get spotted. Someone kills the IS, which is beautiful, and now people are shooting the Hellcat. Fantastic. Going for it myself now. Another shot there. We've spotted out an artillery piece as well. Managed to execute the Hellcat, someone else kills the artillery, and suddenly there's only one of them left, which is that EBR Hotchkiss, who's going to be somewhere around here. And I even get a GG from our friendly Nashorn, which is always nice. Going for the reload on the magazine, almost done, and I'm hoping to try and pick up this EBR. That is the plan. And all over, that'll be quite a nice game for me. He's not here, but that EBR has very good camo there. He is the sneaky little Frenchie. I appreciate I'm a sneaky little Frenchie as well. And there we go. We're able to pick up the final kill of the match. And that game's over. It's nice to see a game on Malinovka that isn't long-winded once in a while. Don't get me wrong, I like the longer games as well. But it's nice to see some variety. And in this case, I actually thought that was, a reasonably nice demonstration of just some light tank gameplay, I guess. Obviously I was top tier in that game, and you can see even in that game I still got my fuel tanks damaged anyway. Obviously I was top tier in that game, which helped, especially when you consider the sort of camo and view range I had compared to some of the other tanks in the game, though, it's not as good as it could be. I'll mention that a little bit more in a moment. So, let's just have a look at the post-game stats for this one, and we'll call the video here. So there we go. I was training up my crew who were going to go in the AMX 1390 at this point, if memory serves. And as you can see in the background, I'm rocking a fairly respectable crew. But I still haven't got, I think, a situational awareness fully trained up. I still don't have recon fully trained up. So I've got a camouflage crew on this tank. So my camo's pretty good, but my view range, like, it could be better. It's still pretty decent, don't get me wrong, but it could be better. Anyway, the game itself was a first class. There, I thought it might be an ace, but it was first class, it's fine. Fighter, spotter, fire for effect, and we got both scout and patrol duty medals, which is nice. I mean, not really much to say about that. It's just nice to have. 1,654 damage done ourselves, 4 kills or 1,350 base experience. That should give you a little bit of an inkling as to how good this machine is, the 1350 XP. And to be fair, how good the typical sort of 1357 player is, I suppose. But what I mean is 1350 base XP. Not enough for an ace. I mean, that's respectable base experience. Anyway. Yeah, that was pretty one-sided game in the end. We were nicely rewarded. The Tiger and the Nashorn, who were talking to us at the end, were also nicely rewarded, which is good to see. 27 shots fired, 21 hits, 19 pens for that damage count, and over 3,000 assistance damage ourselves. And in a tier 7 premium tank, that was over 100,000 credits profit, which is always nice, and a lot of XP. So there we are, a couple of tier 7s for you. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, by all means, feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel. And as ever, I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.